Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Alhamdulillah. Inshallah ta'ala, everybody in the best state of iman, trying to stay focused and growing this deen. So, kind of continuing on with these little ways and different things that cause rifts between spouses and siblings and just Muslims in general, and trying to figure out ways to protect our Islam from the shaitan and the shayateens and the evil jinns, right, amongst mankind as well, right? The shayateens that's amongst mankind. So I'm gonna read a couple of ayats, man, that's inshallah, man, that'd be a warning to the people, man, and to the Muslims. Of course, to myself, first and foremost, man, because you just gotta figure out ways to stay focused, man, in this deen. Especially like when I read these couple of Quran ayats, I'm gonna read the tafsirs too, because this is a serious issue. So look at this. In Surah the Hajj, right? Surah number 22. Ayah number 3. And it says, Allah Azza wa Jal informs us, and among mankind. Now this is referring to Muslims, right? This all ties into the talk referring to why we can't stay married and keep friendships as Muslims, right? The main component of that is not to play with your Islam, right? If you fall into a sin, do what you got to do to get the sin up off you. Don't just live your life in that sin or continue with it to the point where it's just a regular part of your life and the punishments from Allah don't even matter to you. Then the second part of that is you have to choose your companions wisely. Friendships, spouse, business partners, whatever it is, whoever going to be in your inner circle of life, you're going to have to choose them wisely, because they're going to be a part of what can cause rifts, what can cause problems, and you got to make sure there's a certain level of respect that y'all have between one another, and you're gonna have to pay attention closely, man, because if there's not a level of respect for you, then I mean, you don't want to have to be sitting around trying to force somebody to respect you. If you trying to force somebody to respect you, just know that they don't, because they should already respect you through the door. And like I say, Shaitan is going to play and maneuver and manipulate all these situations to the best of his ability, and we just have to know how to protect our Islam, not to fall into these type of things. So when you look at this Quran ayat, it's going to continue on with that theme of the type of Muslims or the type of people that's going to be around, and you have to be careful with your interactions with them. And like I said, some of us, we can end up in marriages with these type of people. We can end up doing business with these type of people, and it's just destined to fail. And it's destined Islamically, when you look at it through the Islamic lens, it's destined to lead you to the hellfire or a life full of toil, where you just back and forth through torment. You know what I'm saying? Like Allah tell us in the Quran. So look at this. So ayah number 3, Surah 22, ayah number 3. And amongst mankind, is those who dispute about Allah without knowledge. Okay? And they follow every rebellious shaitan. Let me read that again. And amongst mankind is those who dispute about Allah without knowledge. And they follow every rebellious shaitan. Now, by them ended up following every rebellious shaitan, this is a punishment from Allah Azza wa Jal, because they dispute about Allah without knowledge. So this is going to lead to them following every rebellious shaitan. This is amongst mankind, this is amongst the jinn, and this is from the shayateens. Ways that they can dispute about Allah without knowledge, right? When it comes to the Quran and the Sunnah, and it's certain things that, let's say, when you understand major sins, minor sins, right? And Allah says those who fall under this category, it leads them to the hellfire. Those who do this and do this, they cursed by Allah. They cursed by them angels, right? Those who fall into this and fall into that. Now keep in mind, that main point, everybody gonna commit a sin. So not falling into the sin, but living your life this type of way, where you're putting yourself in a position where you deserving of what Allah Azza wa Jal is gonna punish people with. Alright? So Allah Mustaan. They so when these things is laid out, they'll say things like, well, I don't believe Allah is that way. I don't believe Allah is gonna punish us, or that stuff ain't really from Islam, or the Quran don't say that, or this not a hadith. They dispute it. You know what I'm saying? But it's really a form of them rejecting it. Because once again, this is things that's going to require them to change, or to stop doing things that, it might even be things they don't want to do, but they do it because they feel like it's going to lead to some form of worldly benefit. It's going to lead to some form of worldly benefit, right? A brother may be deceptive and try to fool a sister into marriage, and he may do things that he don't want to do, or say things that he don't want to do to get her, right? And vice versa. It may be some things she don't want to do, but she's going to do it and be deceptive because she's trying to get this person, or whatever they trying to manipulate their way into. So they'll dispute about the deen of Islam, or some of them just flat out don't even care. It don't matter to me. You know what I'm saying? And like I repeat, man, because you really have a lot of people, man, that really do, they too scared to not believe in Allah. But because there's really not a lot of formal institutes or ways for people to learn properly, you really just have a lot of Muslims, man, doing whatever they want, and they just feel like they're doing the best that they can. They just making it up as they go. You see what I'm saying? And they may put themselves in a position to where, because they moving like this, They really disputing and saying things about Allah and His deen and His messenger, man, that they really don't have no knowledge of. They speaking without knowledge. Now these people, when they dealing with other people that's not as knowledgeable, they will mislead these people. You see what I'm saying? And then especially if it's all in the name of trying to obtain some type of dunya, something from this worldly life. Money, cars, relationships, just whatever it is that they chasing that's really not worth Jannah that Allah is trying to give us. So it continues on, and when I read the tafsirs, which I'm kind of explaining it a little bit, but I'm going to read the tafsirs from Ibn Kathir and As-Sa'di, right? For them, for these devils, these individuals, it's decreed that whoever follows them, they will mislead them, and they will drive them to the torment of the hellfire. You have to be careful, man. You have to be careful, man. And you don't want to be one of these individuals that get caught up in your whims and your desires. And you're gonna have to pay attention. Like, there was again, man, sometimes, man, you just gotta hold fast to your deen. So again, I was looking at another podcast, and there's this rap guy. I just looked at a little snippet of it. His name is Big Daddy Kane. So he was talking about how when Suge Knight was trying to sign him to death row, and Suge Knight asked him what did he want to sign. So he was like, just give me 400,000. So he was like, well, why not ask for 5? So he said, okay, well, give me 500,000. So Suge Knight told him, man, you Big Daddy Kane, you're worth nothing less than $1 million. So we're going to start at $1 million, right? So Big Daddy Kane was like, all right, cool. And then he said, Suge Knight said to him, what your finances looking like right now? You know, I don't know what you're going through. You ain't been in the business for a little while. So I got $100,000 cash right now, and I'm gonna go ahead and give it to you in a bag, and you take that with you. Because he did that, Big Daddy Kane was able to see through something didn't feel right about it. Something felt snakish. He's up to something not going right. So he turned the whole deal down. And when you don't have nothing and you willing to walk away from $1 million deal and $100,000 up front, because you standing on whatever your morals and your principles are, you have to applaud an individual like that. Now the reason why I'm telling that story, because sometimes you will be presented with situations, Muslim brothers, Muslim females, and sometimes these situations is going to involve other Muslims. Sometimes you will be presented with situations that's going to look good on the surface, but you have to have some firasa. You're going to have some of that Islamic foresight and discernment to kind of see the future in this and how this is moving and how this is going. And what level of respect do people have with you? What they deem like? Do they play with Allah? We're not talking about falling into sin, because everybody's going to sin. We Bani Adam. And like I say, Allah know that we going to sin. That's why we have things like istighfar. That's why we have things like tawbah. And we might walk a thin line depending on where we headed. You see what I'm saying? But you're going to have to pay attention to all of these things because, one, this might be a situation that Shaitan is manipulating. So you have to know when to say, all right, I'm going to choose Islam. You know what I'm saying? I got to choose Islam. Because that's the only thing that's going to lead to real success. Especially when you know that the Shayateens and Shaitan are out there doing things to cause rifts and differences and little fights and things like that in between people. Right? So like because I like to give like little examples. So let's say in Islam we know we can't eat pork, brothers and sisters. Alright. And a sister wanna marry a brother. And then they be smooth, you know, things be going a certain type of way. And then they getting to the point where they getting ready to get married. And then all of a sudden this brother show up eating a pork chop like right in front of her. Not trying to hide it, pork all on his lips and everything. And then she gonna have to look at him, but what comes with him may look favorable. Is she gonna say, okay, I'm gonna deal with this brother eating pork? I'm just gonna go ahead and deal with this brother eating pork, and then I hope he stop. Not considering what type of little issues this is gonna cause in the marriage, because he's opening himself up to be punished by Allah. And eating pork is a regular thing. It ain't like he just hungry at the moment and ate some pork, fell into a sin. He's just a swine eater. He might be a Karim. He might be one of these individuals that dispute about Allah and his deen and the sunnah that he sent with his messenger, that hikmah. And then you'll see that he might follow every rebellious shaitan. When you have a married couple or a Muslim couple and you have one trying to bring the barakats and the blessings of Allah into the home, and then the other one bringing punishments and curses into the home, how is that going to work? And like even vice versa, a brother might really want to marry a sister and be into the sister, and she know eating pork is a no-no, and then she just show up all of a sudden just one day, bust out and start eating pork in front of him. And just really mentally, like, just the same with the brother. They just gonna go for it. He ain't gonna care about me eating pork. You know what I'm saying? And then some brothers might look at what comes with her might seem favorable. Sometimes, man, situations will come about, man, where you might have to be like Big Daddy Kane. Nah. It's cool. These things is a certain type of way, but no, I fear Allah too much. I might fall, we might fall into things, but not finna live like that, man. Not finna just live with a Muslim who just gonna blatantly eat pork in my face. Now they tiptoe off and eat some pork and you don't see it, but once they do it in your face, you being tested. And then Allah might put them in front of you like that. You know what I'm saying? This is another Muslim, man, that there's no way on earth that they have respect for you. And when you understand the Quran ayats, they might fall into particular categories. Are they the ones who dispute about Allah and his deen? If you run around trying to eat pork and do certain things, man, that put you under the curse of Allah, and then do it in front of a woman that you want to marry and expect her to continue on with you, because you think you got her like that or whatever, or she's either gonna deal with it or I got 6 other women lined up who will mentality. You know, this is dangerous, man, as a Muslim, man. And this is our environment. This is what we face with. And being that Ramadan is coming up and we getting closer to Ramadan, Shaitan is going to increase these type of presentations in front of us, man. With whatever it is. It might be somebody trying to get you to go get some money in the street. And you might want to take a chance because it seemed good. And they might be another Muslim. You see what I'm saying? And like you say, whoever ended up dealing with that person and following along with these people, man, who follow every rebellious shaitan, once you start dealing with them, they're going to lead you astray in some type of way also. You just have to be careful. So when you look at the tafsirs from Ibn Kathir, where it says Allah condemns those who deny the resurrection and who deny that Allah is able to restore life to the dead, those who turn away from that which Allah has revealed to his prophet. So like I say, part of that disputing is you basically gonna turn away from when Allah says don't do this, this lead to a curse, this lead to the hellfire, this lead to a Kareem being put next to you. You turn away from all those warnings like, no, Allah, I don't believe Allah is like that. I don't believe this deen, I'm gonna be fine. You in a category of disputing against Allah without knowledge. Because Allah clearly saying this is exactly what I'm going to do. And you see sometimes people be in situations like that where somebody who they know don't play, somebody who they know almost has zero tolerance for foolishness when it comes to particular things, and then like it might be a woman beater and beat every single woman that they came across, and then it's all of a sudden some woman who knows that's how they get down want to stand in their face and say, you ain't gonna do nothing. You ain't gonna do nothing to me. And then they end up beat up. This like doing the same thing. No, Allah ain't gonna do that. I don't do that. Disputing against Allah, man, without knowledge, man. So it says, their denial and disbeliefs lead them to following every rebellious shaitan amongst men and jinn. This is the state of the followers of innovation and misguidance, those who up on bid'ah and deviation, who turn away from the truth and follow falsehood. Who turn away from the truth and follow falsehood, following the words of the leaders of misguidance who call people to follow innovation and their own desires and opinions. Allah says concerning them and their like, and amongst mankind is those who dispute about Allah without knowledge. So like I was saying, those who make these type of choices and then they say, oh, I don't believe that's in the deen, Allah ain't gonna do that, I'm gonna be fine, I'm chasing this, I'm chasing that. And again, we're not talking about falling into a sin. We talking about making these choices and living the wrong way. Because there's tawbah for falling into sin, man. But this deviation, this bid'ah, and all of this misguidance, it's a dangerous situation, man. And like I say, you can end up trying to do business with somebody that's like this. And then we always still have to, like me, I'm going to look at myself first and foremost. I can easily be this, man. I can be this. You might end up in business with these type of people, man. You might end up married with these type of people. You might end up having kids. You might end up having children with these type of individuals, man. And it's unfortunate, especially when you fall into these type of situations, because you chasing things from this world. Because you chasing things from this world, man. And Allah Azza wa Jal makes it clear. Whoever follows along with these type of people, that person, and the ones who follow them, Allah will drive them to the torment of the hellfire. Driving them to the torment of the hellfire, that's different than just letting them get there on their own. That means it's guaranteed. Allah gonna see to it that they end up in the hellfire, man. So, y'all gonna have to be careful, man. Brothers and sisters. Because Ramadan is coming up. And like I said, man, the winter time is coming. And people are going to be trying to make moves and maneuver. They gonna be up to no good, man. And next thing you know, you have somebody, man, sister might be trying to help a brother out, man, that's down on their luck. Next thing you know, this brother, once he feel like he ain't good with him, eating a pork sandwich right in their face. Brother try to help a sister out and be like, okay, we're going to do this and we cool. And next thing you know, she eating a pork chop right in his face. Like, well, you ain't going to do nothing. You weak, you soft. I'm going to eat this pork right in your face. And you ain't going to do nothing. You know what I'm saying? And then if you say, why you eating pork? They gonna do the baby face thing. Oh, the brother and the sister, oh, I'm so sad, don't do this, you can't talk to me that way. A conversation that you shouldn't even have to have. You know what I'm saying? Or they just blatantly just start getting high in your face. All type of drugs. Allah telling us right here in the Quran, man, where Allah gonna drive them to. Sometimes you gotta be like Big Daddy Kane, man. And then when you look at, before I even go to that next ayat, look at this one in Surah 43, ayat number 36. And whoever turns a blind eye to the remembrance of the most compassionate, we will place at the disposal a Karim, which is an evil, devilish companion, right? As one of their close associates. When you turn away from the reminders of Allah like this, while Allah is saying, this is what you're gonna be dealing with. This is the situation we finna put in front of you. You being tested right now. What are you gonna choose? Because your desires for this worldly life is gonna tear you apart, man. It's gonna tear you apart. Your mind gonna be different, man. Your heart gonna be different, man. You ever see, man, like individuals who constantly make these choices, man, like I know some Muslims, man, that just can't leave that street alone, man. 50 years old, man, and done did 36, 37 years on and off. And even after doing 36, 37 years, man, they still jump right back in the street. And the whole time they've been in the street, they've been Muslim. But all of these choices and what they going through, and then when you sit down and talk to them, and then they right back in trouble again, They heart and they mind be different, man. They heart and they mind be different, man. Playing with this dean, man. And then even after going through all that and may be in trouble again, they still not choosing Islam. They calling themselves Muslim. They say this what they believe in, but they still disputing against what Allah Azza wa Jal is letting them know gonna go on. You see, like I say, man, just being in the type of position that I'm in, and some of the sisters, man, that I come across, and like I say, I'm not bashing the brothers who make their choices. I'm not bashing the sisters, man, but they just go through so much toil. And the sad part is, at the end of the day, no matter how much they blame other people, deep down inside you could tell they blame themselves, because they know they manipulated their way into the situation, man, that got them hurting. They heart and they mind be different, man. They heart and they mind be different, man. They don't know. They don't even know how to find who they think they used to be. And they always in a situation, man, they always manipulating their way into situations, man, and it never truly work out for them. Because it's an eggshell. It's not a solid foundation. It can get snatched up from up under them, and now they just have to manipulate their way right back into another situation that's going to look the same way. But they never learn their lesson, man. And that's why I say I watch them go from Muslim men to Kafir men to this one to that one. Some of them, no disrespect to them, even go fall into women for a little bit and still call themselves Muslim. And then they'll take all that stuff off, man, and get the, it just be crazy, man. And I want to be careful with my words, because I don't be wanting nobody to feel like I'm speaking to them personally, but just doing a whole lot of things, man. They turn around and have a whole bunch of, start putting makeup all on their face, not knowing if pork in it. Because you have cosmetics, you have lipstick and stuff, man, that got pork in it. Start throwing all type of weave and all type of stuff all down their back, man, and all that. But the sad part is, in their mind, Shaitan done really manipulated them in their mind, thinking that the good Muslim man that they after is going to marry them under those conditions. Because all these situations they done manipulated their way into with goofies, and then once it gets snatched from up under them, they gotta go, they back out there, man, as Muslims. And I listened to him, and from a man's point of view, it's really your fault, man. You was trying to be slick. It was trying to be slick, and it was an eggshell. If you step on it the wrong way, it's gonna break. It wasn't a solid foundation, man. You might be a Kareem, or you put yourself in a position where a Kareem got put with you, and then you chose it, man. You chose it. In the dunya, they refer to these things as red flags. I don't necessarily use the term red flags, but it's like, what do y'all think? Another Muslim just blatantly eating a pork chop in your face. This is something that's easy to give up. A Muslim brother talking about he want to marry you and he eating a pork chop in your face. A pork chop sandwich with bacon on it. A bacon pork chop sandwich with cheese. Right in front of you. That ain't a red flag. But, oh well, they can pay bills. They can do this. They can do that. So I don't mind them eating I don't mind them eating a pork sandwich, a quadruple pork sandwich in my face. The brother, she's good with kids. She might be good for my daughter. I like the way she clean up. She could do laundry. I like the way she present herself. She's cute. I like the shape of her body. I don't mind her eating pork meats in my face. I mean, it's just pork. Eventually, I'll get her to stop eating it. Not even considering what this might do to the whole household. With Shaitan and their movements, not realizing this is something that's going to cause a rift. Like what we discussed, why we can't stay married, why we can't keep Muslim friendships. You don't think that's a situation, man, where the shaitans and the jinns done play with somebody's head and they gonna eat a bacon pork chop cheese sandwich in your face? You don't think that's gonna cause a rift? And that's just where it starts. Because like they say, man, sometimes you give a person an inch, man, and they gonna take a yard. You give them an inch, man, they gonna take a yard. And then it's gonna be these top-notch demands. And like I say, man, like wallahi, man, I talk to married couples, man, and you'll start seeing these just over-the-top demands that they just test people with. Sister might be like, look, if, like in a sit down, like this, me at a real sit down, you gotta agree to rub my feet 5 days a week, or every day that I had a real rough day, you gotta agree to rub my feet and massage my feet and all that. And then the brother be like, all right, that's cool. But when I have a rough day, can you rub my back? The sister be like, nah, you can't do that. You only asking me to rub your back because I asked you to rub my feet. Because, then the brother might be like, oh, okay, I don't need a back rub. I'm just here to be your foot rubber. You don't think that's going to cause rifts in the marriage? But see, she don't care. Because she got some other people that's goofier than you that's going to go for it. Until she step on that eggshell and it break. Then it's back to the next goofy, man. And I'm talking about as Muslims. And I had to sit down and try to talk sense into individuals that think this way. But it's difficult because rarely do they be under the age of 40. Some of them be in their 50s. Wallahi. Some of them be in their 50s still moving like that. Just like how I said, no knock to them, man, but like the individuals on my block, all of them over the age of 40. The sisters, all of them over the age of 40, except for the girl next door. But like the other women in the house, they all over their 40s, doing the exact same thing. She just under 40, the one who be standing in the backyard in the car with men spending the night. Wallahi, they was out there last night when I pulled up. But this is something that and I've been watching her do this for 3 years with just every single dude that come around her. Some of them speak to me, some of them be cool. You know what I'm saying? And it's just a mentality that they not gonna shake. And like I'm saying, man, that bottom line is they heart and they mind be different. And one main component that I see about them is they just want to be cared about. They just want to be cared about. They have an old war is me, nobody care about me. But how much do you care about yourself, man? You keep putting yourself in the exact same situation, man. The exact same situation. But every time, you the coldest thing since sliced bread. And they be over 40 and 50, man. Shaitan playing with their head, man. And I'm talking about in the Muslim Ummah, man. These people can be Kareems, man. Sometimes you gotta be Big Daddy Kane, man. Sometimes you gotta be Big Daddy Kane, B. And this for the brothers and the sisters, man. This not just for the brothers, man. And this is in Islam, man. You have to pay attention to what Allah is telling us, man, about these type of individuals. Let me read Tafsir Sa'di on that, right? Look what Tafsir Sa'di say. So again, the Quran ayat, amongst mankind, there are some who dispute about Allah without knowledge, and they follow every rebellious devil about whom it is decreed. So when it's saying it's decreed, that means it's the qadr of Allah. It can't be escaped. Where it's decreed that whoever take them as an ally, whoever get to move in the same way they move it, whoever follows them, then this individual will lead them astray and guide them to the punishment of a raging fire. It's decreed. There's no ifs, ands, buts, or maybes. That's like where it says Allah is going to drive them to the torment of the hellfire. It's decreed. They couldn't escape it if they wanted to. They couldn't escape it if they wanted to. And in their mindset ain't even going to know. They're not even going to know to make Tawbah. Because they tell themselves how this deen go. They tell themselves what Allah accept. They tell themselves Allah is pleased with me. I'm good with Allah. While they just living a life of toil. Back and forth. Same situation to the same situation to the same situation to the same situation, man. To where these situations is all they know. They don't even, just brothers and sisters, once they come across a relationship that's not the exact same situation, they don't know how to be in it. Just like how I said, I knew a Muslim couple. They didn't really pray. They didn't really deen. There was really no Quran reading. We talking about with consistency. Yeah, it was some praying sometime. Yeah, it was a lecture here and there. Yeah, it was a little reading every once in a while. But it wasn't with consistency. And due to everything, all these little things causing rifts in their marriages, they possibly Kareems for one another. They dispute about Allah without knowledge and this deen and make up their own stuff and feel their own way. They basically leading each other to the hellfire as Muslims. So their marriage come to a breaking point. She go find a good brother. He go and find a good sister they both found real deening, serious about Islam, chasing Jinnah Muslims. And by me knowing them and then the situations kind of having some involvement with they moving on, and they're still advising, y'all need to pay attention, man. And like I say, during sit downs, during different conversations, people thought that because I'm a good Muslim, and they had been alone for a little while, and they found things just like her. She found things appealing about the brother, the good sister. The good brother found things appealing about the sister. I can work with that. And then they both married these Muslims, and all that foolishness that they had going on in their household, when they married them, they brought them ways to them good Muslims. And then when the good Muslims like, why you ain't praying? Why you doing this? Why you got pork all on your mouth? And all this other type of stuff that they know they ain't got no business doing. But see, these things, they got so comfortable doing these things around each other. And it broke them. They heart and their mind different, the brother and the sister. Now they with some good Muslims and they don't know how to stop that behavior. They don't know how to not be like that because they've been like that so long. So now what's going to happen? There's a rift there. How is that going to last? They don't plan on changing. They don't have on plan on changing, because some people as Muslims and non-Muslims, their mindset is, I'm not going to change. This works for me. I just need to find somebody that's going to put up with it. And then if they overvalue themselves, that's what they gonna push on you. You gonna shut up and put up with it. The brother and the sister, man. You might possibly be a Kareem. And if these people don't be careful and they fall into the type of things, man, and get to live in the wrong type of life with them, Allah done decreed you're gonna touch that fire. And I'll be the type of person, man, who just be honest, man. Well, I even, said to the particular individual, man, you sure you want to do this, man? Are you sure you want to do this, brother? You know what I'm saying? Wallahi, you sure you want to do this? Sister laughing. Talking about, quit playing, Yaga. I ain't playing. Brother, what are you doing, man? So then it says, look, the tafsirs, that is among people that are some who follow the path of misguidance and begin to argue on the basis of falsehood against the truth. They already on the path of misguidance. Allah ain't gonna do this. This ain't no curse. Allah this, I'm that. Allah loves me. I'm in good standings with Allah. Right? They're already on the path of misguidance. And then they begin to argue on the basis of falsehood against the truth. That's everything I've been saying. They misguided, and then they using falsehood as the basis of their argument against the truth. SubhanAllah. Wanting to prove and support falsehood and invalidate the truth. They basically gonna turn their lies into the truth. And you know what happened? If they convince themselves to do that, they gonna be living a lie. And you can see it. You can see Muslims out here, man, they living a lie, man. Because they done turned their lie into a truth, man. They blinded. They done put themselves in a position where they blind, deaf, and dumb in accordance with what the Quran say. Because they can't see the reality of what they doing, man. And then they can't hear anybody that's speaking the truth to them. And then they dumb because they done tricked themselves up into this, and they tricking themselves to be there, man. Brothers and sisters. And Ramadan coming, man. These individuals, man, they finna be swarming, man, to cling to some good people, man. Yeah. They gonna be swarming to cling to some good people, man. Now, don't get me wrong, because some people be having some sincerity. Some people really be wanting, some people really want good for themselves, man. And then some people, like my situation, I'm a personalizer for a split second. Like wallahi, it be sisters, man, who go through, just done took themselves through a whole plethora of stupidity, man. Right? And they'll say to me, you will be good for me. You the type of brother I need. I'll start studying. I'll start living this type of way. But in my head, I know they won't. I know they won't. Especially when I'm not finna turn around and have the exact same ways as the goofy that you just went through again, as the 10 goofies you done went through turmoil with. I'm not finna be that. You're not finna turn me into it either. But I listen to him, and it be my whole mind. It just be my whole little thing is, you think I'm good enough to walk over? You been by yourself for an amount of time. I get in and put the smooths on. Nah. But I don't enter the situation. You know what I'm saying? You think some people confuse good with soft. How they say some people take people kindness as a weakness, man. But once again, man, it's the whole manipulation. And my whole thing is where I have to look at the situation. Okay, I'm a good person for you. What is it that's going to make you a good person for me? That's not even taken into consideration. I ain't thinking about being no good person for you. This is about what you can be for me. I got holes on my body. That's good enough for you. I just be like this. And and my problem is I let people be, man. What you doing is what you gonna do to you. I don't try to stop nothing, and I don't necessarily try to encourage nothing. I let people be. You know, that's the choice you want to make. Go ahead. You know, alhamdulillah, man. I learned to leave things in the hand of Allah. You know, when these people making these type of choices, man, I'm gonna pay attention to what the Deen tell me. I'm not gonna try to turn this falsehood that I'm looking at into the truth. I know what Allah says, man, and Allah knows best. Look what it says, man, and then I'm gonna be done, right? So they want to prove and support falsehood and invalidate the truth. But in fact, they are extremely ignorant and they do not have any knowledge. All they have is blind imitation of the other people that they see, of the other people that they be around. Blind leaders of misguidance and of every rebellious devil. Keep in mind, because they gonna follow every rebellious devil and stubbornly rebel against Allah and His Messenger. They're gonna stubbornly rebel against the Quran and the Sunnah, opposing them and going against what they said, thus becoming leaders of those who call people to the hellfire. So now they put themselves in a position where they're going to be a rebellious devil that people follow. They follow rebellious devils, and now people going to fall into it and start to follow them, man. You got to be careful, man. And Ramadan is coming. And one thing that Shaitan love, man, is for a person to lose their Ramadan. Because if you have a successful Ramadan that Allah accepts, your sins is forgiven from previous, when you do everything, the previous year, the upcoming year, the gates of Jannah is open and the gates to the hellfire is closed. All the barakat that you can see, the night of decree, the Qadr is in that month where the Qadr is going to come down for the next year. You know, Shaitan, man, will put you in a position, man, to lose all of that, man. And see, one thing that we got to learn as Muslims, man, and be steadfast on. Some people don't care about you. They just want you to care about them. You know what I'm saying? Some people don't care about you, man. They just want you to care about them. And Islam don't necessarily Islam don't change some of these people because they don't implement Islam the way that they want to where Allah will change what's in their heart. Toil. I have a saying, man, that I adopted, man, many years ago, man. A person without peace in their life, a person that doesn't have peace when nobody else is around them, how are they gonna bring peace to your life? They looking to seek peace within you. They want you to be their peace. They want you to be their rock. They want you to be their safe haven. But they don't want to change any of the stuff that caused them to be in the situations that they always in. In the situations that they always in. You know. But anyway, man, you know, it's Jumar, man. You know, gotta go ahead and do what I gotta do, man. And start getting ready, man. It's time to take heed, man. It's time to tighten up, man, because we 5 months away from Ramadan. Once we get 3 months away, yeah, you're gonna have to start being steadfast, man. You know, you're gonna have to start getting into your Ramadan habits, man. Start reading your Quran. Start doing some night prayers, getting yourself conditioned, man. You know, start doing a little bit of fasting, easing into it. You know, the time finna change soon, so the days is gonna be shorter. It's time to start doing some fasting, man. It's time to start prepping for Ramadan and getting yourself on that right path, man. You're gonna have to remember Allah and turn back to that, man. You know, and that's real talk, man. Even with some sisters, man, you know, you might be the right one for a particular brother, and at the same time, he might be the wrong one for you. Because the situations that he's in, he won't change and fix it. And it's likewise with some sisters, man. You might be the right one for her, but then she's the wrong one for you. Because she don't want to change and fix the stuff that constantly keep them in the exact same situation, man. And this ain't no knock, this ain't no judgment. This is just speaking from a place of a person who sit on the other side of individuals like this, man, and try to give them some game about their own life. But like I said, man, some Muslims don't want guidance. Don't try to guide me. Don't enjoin no good on me. Don't forbid no evil on me. Don't tell me to stay away from the evil. Just leave me alone and let me be the Muslim how I want to be. But at the same time, they want you to fix them. Muslim couples, marriages, you know, sisters, man, who just going extremely left. You know what I'm saying? Uncovering, you know, like I said, not judging, but just seeing once they fall into things, what all it turn into. Start putting hair all down their back, man, and, you know, just crazy stuff, man. All in it, and like I say, they don't be young. Just like, I'm not going to say a Muslim sister here. I don't want to say that. But you see a sister, man, they leave Islam. And they in their 40s. They leave Islam in their 40s. And then just jump out and hit the streets and go start getting tattoos and stuff like they're little kids still. Like they still 20. You been Muslim from like the age of 30, 32 or something like that. Now you about 43, 42, 41. Something like that, man. You leave Islam at the age of 41 or 42, and then you run around and start getting tattoos and a whole bunch of weird stuff, man. You don't think that's Shaitan playing with you? And we all know that Allah cursed the ones who do these type of things, man. The women who start throwing all this stuff in their hair and tattoos and doing stuff to their eyebrows and stuff like that, man, Allah curse these type of women, man. And you gonna leave Islam and turn into that? Sister Uncovered, this and that, man, going and getting tattoos and can't pay for the tattoos and have sex for them, and then turn around and send me a picture of it. I ain't just what you. Come on, man, you sending me a picture of a tattoo that that you done had sex to get, and you used to be an all black wearing Muslim. What do you think? And you know this kafir, this and that, these kafir men just out there, man. And the sad part is, for me, I know good brothers that was willing to take them on and even attempted, but they didn't know how to stop being that woman that they was, man. They didn't know how to stop being that woman that they was, man. You gotta love me unconditional. You gotta accept all of this. No, I didn't know all of this. Like you hear this. I didn't sign on to accept this right here, what you done bust out. Just like the same thing with them, man. When it comes to a guy, it's just unfortunate, man. And alhamdulillah, I don't know, but I always wonder, man, why Allah put me in a position to be the one to see all this stuff, man. And it just make me hold on to my deen even tighter, man. Anyway, man, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu, man. You gotta be careful, man. This deen ain't nothing to play with, man.